So I've got this plug centered on this board. I utilize this frame because when this plate is sitting on the frame, I've got to have clearance for the plug to extend down through the plate, parting plate. Center it pretty close to where it's not obstructing the sides of this box. And I'm gonna clay it up here. One thing I found out early on, there's really no one type of clay that works best for everything. I find that some of the clays, like this one, this pelican clay, that's really soft, you know, when you warm it up in your hand, it works out good because it's sticky and it helps you actually conform and hold a part like this because the stickiness or whatever, and you can maneuver it around a little bit. Some of the clays, even under the temperature of your hand heat, body heat, they still stay to where they're almost unpliable. You almost have to have a heat gun to warm them up. Now this is probably overkill. I mean, you got to be gentle when you go around this plug anyway with the scribe line, but we're gonna make sure it doesn't shift on us. And you just try to get a good visual on it and make sure that the high point is pretty much on the even plane. We'll make sure that the clay is away from the edge of the plug, and you can get a rough visual before you head to the scribe line. You can take a triangle or a square, and all I'm doing here is just checking to make sure that I'm on the high point here. Checking for draft angle. Make sure I got clearance around the clay. I've got another one of these scribes. It's got a point on it where it actually etches into the surface. So now I've got a scribe line around my plug. I can remove this. And the beauty of this hobby board, worked out pretty good because I've got the actual product here. Doesn't matter if it's PVC foam board. It just happened to be that this was scrap, and the guy was kind enough to offer it to me. This was a cut-off PVC foam. This was at Meyer Plastic. If you go in there, if you're in the Indianapolis area, go into Meyer Plastic and they'll have scrap pieces, and it's minimal cost. You get a lot of scrap for 20 bucks. PVC foam white, 6 millimeter. This was a 4x8 sheet, 2022, so that's the reason why it was scrap, as a cutoff, and it's been sitting there for 3 years. Nobody wanted it, so I was the lucky guy to get it. Now what you can do, you can sort of stay either on the line or just a little inside the line. It's one of these deals where you just go slow. yeah, it looks good. So it's a little tight, but that'll be good because it'll hold it in place while I get it positioned exactly where I want it. Alright, so the next step here is to get this thing glued down. I'm going to glue this PVC board down to this the box. Alright, got my spray booth set up here on my lawnmower. So I left the CA at work, okay? So what I'm going to do, I thought good time to experiment here. This was shown to me by a gentleman on a construction site, commercial. And they use this obviously on Formica countertops. But he uses it on wood and all kinds of stuff. So what we're going to do here, we're going to attach this PVC board to this poplar frame. And I also have expanded bead polystyrene, so I'm not going to pass up the chance to see how this works on this. Now this stuff is just for pattern work. It wouldn't be any good because it's so heavy for model airplane wings and stuff. And the way this comes out, you'll see it'll spider web. So let's get a coat on this for a test sample. I got my box masked off because once you get this stuff on, it's not coming off. It's pretty tenacious. See how that comes out like a spider web? And it was demonstrated to me. He had 2 blocks of wood and he sprayed this stuff. Maybe not quite this liberal, but and yeah, right here it's melting the polystyrene. So this would not be any good for foam block. And hold it upside down to clear the nozzle, get air out of it. And all you have to do, it's almost dry to the touch. See how it's sort of stringy? You want it sort of tacky to where your finger sticks but it doesn't pull the adhesive up. Now that right over here is a little wet because it pulled the adhesive up. This is great for obviously what it's made for, countertops and any kind of pattern work. It's down there for good now. I used the Formica product on this, so I laminated the 2-inch foam board to this 1/4-inch ply. And well, we got the wheel pant clayed up to the parting box, so that supports it, keeps it level. Now if this was a bigger part and heavier, probably need some cross bracing in there, some balsa wood to hold it. Being a small part, I think it's light enough where this will be plenty. The clay will hold it. I'm just going to go through here, press this clay down in the in that little groove there. Now this razor's been sanded smooth. It's got a 90-degree angle on it. So I got an old jug of PVA here. This stuff's been around a long time. And it's getting a little lumpy in there, I think. So normally I don't screen it, filter it, or whatever. I think in this case it's getting a little lumpy in here, so I'm going to filter this. That'll take you back if you're in the Indy area. Master Glass and Color. They're out of business now. I used to buy paint from them. So let's filter some PVA. Like I said, I don't know if it's lumpy or not, but I was getting some clogs the last time I sprayed this stuff, and I think, looking at the jug, I think it was in the PVA. So I'm looking at there, see it's got some lumps in it. So it's probably a good thing I filtered it. So I got some 302X surface coat on here, and these are sheet wax, 1/8 inch thick. I cut them at an angle, got a draft angle on them, so they're locators. And we're going to let this cure up a little bit, get it to the B stage. Then we're going to start laying up some glass, and we'll probably do some tooling dough on it. Like I said, just put a nice liberal coat of wax. Make sure that it's to the point where you're never going to secondary bond anything to it, obviously, because you're waxing it up. But this is 1/8 inch sheet wax. This is scrap that was left over from something I laid up. And what I like to do with this here, I'll take it and I'll just slice it into little riser blocks or little dimples or whatever you want to call them. So I'll trim it at an angle. And I'll just go around there, you know, in a square pattern. Size and dimension really doesn't matter. You can also skive it. Like I said, it's pretty dense wax, but it reminds you sort of like a really soft candle wax. So obviously this would be reversed, you know, these would be laying on the parting board, and these little bumps you carve out of the sheet wax form that. We're going to get a little surface coat on this mold here.